Have you ever found yourself pondering a profound question that tugs at your heart? What makes someone truly special in the sight of Allah? It's a thought that crosses the minds of many believers at some point in their spiritual journey. We look around us and see individuals who radiate an unshakable faith, immense patience, and a deep, genuine connection with Allah. It makes us wonder if they were always like this, or if they were born with a unique advantage. Could it be that they are simply chosen? But here's where we often go awry. The beautiful truth within Islam teaches us that being chosen by Allah isn't reserved for a privileged few. Instead, Allah makes it clear that anyone can be elevated if they choose to connect with Him. The Quran beautifully articulates this when it says that the noblest among you in the sight of Allah are those who are most righteous. It isn't about your lineage, your social status, or where you hail from. It's about what resides within your heart and how you choose to live your life. The truly chosen ones are not those with special lineages or mystical gifts. They are simply individuals who strive to live authentically, placing their trust in Allah and remaining steadfast in their faith. So let me ask you this crucial question. Are you carrying the signs of someone whom Allah has elevated? Today we will explore 7 powerful qualities that distinguish those who are genuinely close to Allah. If you recognize these traits within yourself, it may be a sign that Allah is guiding you towards something remarkable. And if this message resonates with you, please take a moment to comment "I love Allah" below. Your words can create a wave of encouragement and community support that spreads positivity. Those who experience isolation may actually be elevating. Have you ever felt a profound sense of isolation even when surrounded by people? It's almost as if no matter how many conversations you engage in, you find it hard to connect. You feel as though you are on a different wavelength, a different path altogether. This isn't just simple loneliness, it runs deeper than that. Throughout history, those whom Allah has elevated often endure periods of isolation, not as a punishment, but as a crucial part of their spiritual journey. Think about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Before he received revelation, he would retreat to the cave of Hira, away from the noise of society, to reflect, contemplate, and connect with Allah. This illustrates a vital point. Sometimes Allah pulls you away from certain people, environments, or distractions, not as a form of punishment, but as a means to purify your heart and deepen your relationship with Him. The Quran reassures us that patience is paramount, for Allah does not let the efforts of the righteous go unrewarded. So when you find yourself in moments of solitude, instead of querying why this is happening to you, consider what lessons Allah may be imparting through this experience. In those quiet moments, your heart has a chance to clarify itself, and your focus can shift away from the judgments of others, redirecting your attention instead toward Allah's guidance. This is a time for growth that couldn't have flourished if you were constantly surrounded by distractions. So if you've been grappling with feelings of being out of place, do not mistake that for rejection from Allah. It may just be your Creator's way of preparing you for something greater that lies ahead, recognizing the greater tests for those closer to Allah. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to face an unending barrage of challenges? They often triumph over one hardship only to encounter yet another obstacle waiting in the wings. They endure betrayals, losses, setbacks, and impossible challenges. Challenges that might break many individuals. And yet they persist. The truth is that the closer Allah desires you to be to Him, the more significant your tests may become. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized this connection when he said that the most severely tested individuals are the prophets, then those closest to them in faith, followed by those who are closest to them. This hadith beautifully encapsulates the understanding that trials and tribulations are not punishments. They are divine opportunities for refinement and growth, preparing you for something towering in stature. Allah reminds us in the Quran that we should not mistakenly think we can simply profess our belief without being tested. Think about the process through which gold is refined by fire. Diamonds are forged under extreme pressure. In a similar vein, the strongest believers are sculpted through their hardships. If Allah is putting your faith to the test, it indicates that He perceives potential within you that you may not even recognize in yourself. So here's the pivotal question: do you recognize your challenges as signs of Allah's elevation in your life? Or do you view them merely as burdens to bear? When you shift your perspective to embrace your struggles as part of your unique journey toward Allah, they transform into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Learning from the less charming faces of humanity, life has a way of challenging our once sunny beliefs about humanity. Initially, we might believe everyone is inherently good, loyal, and trustworthy. However, at some point, reality swoops in and shatters those misconceptions. You start seeing jealousy when you had expected support, dishonesty where you thought you would find sincerity, and even betrayal from individuals you once considered allies. Sure, realizing these truths can be painful, but here's the vital nuance. Allah doesn't expose people to cause you hurt. Instead, He reveals them to free you from unhealthy attachments. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, stated that if Allah intends good for someone, He bestows that person with a deep understanding of the religion. This means when Allah shutters your eyes to the superficial facades of others, it's not just an invitation to wallow in betrayal. It's an opportunity for wisdom and growth, encouraging you to stop relying on the wrong people and to place your complete trust in Allah. When you face disloyalty or disappointment, understand that this revelation is a blessing in disguise. Allah tells us in the Quran that it may be that you dislike something, yet ultimately it is good for you. Imagine if you had never witnessed the true nature of those around you, found solace in the illusion of their sincerity, and built your expectations around them, only to be blindsided later. So if you are feeling let down by people around you, consider this: congratulations. You may be in the process of letting go of those who are not meant to be part of your journey. And here's the silver lining: once you release your grip on the wrong ones, you create space for the right people to enter your life. Understanding that not fitting in may be for a higher purpose. Have you ever felt the struggle to blend in with a crowd, but no matter how hard you try, you just can't shake that sense of being different? You may force laughter at jokes that don't resonate with you, or engage in conversations that leave you feeling drained. You start questioning why you can't just be like everyone else. Here's a candid truth: you are not meant to fit in, nor should you. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, conveyed that Islam began as something strange and will return to being strange. He told us to rejoice in being among the strangers. Think about that for a moment. Those whom Allah elevates may often feel a little out of place in this world, because while others chase fleeting trends, wealth, and status, you are pursuing something far deeper and more rewarding. And the evidence is in the Quran, wherein Allah states that most people, despite your sincere desire for their belief, simply will not believe. This serves as a reminder that if you feel disconnected in a world fixated on consumerism and superficiality, it doesn't mean you are broken. It signifies that you are blessed. So the next time you feel like the outlier, embrace it. Remember, you are traversing a unique path that leads to greater fulfillment than anything this world can provide. Seeing the world for its transient nature. Let's face it, many are obsessed with the trappings of this world. They chase money, fame, and status as if that's what life is all about. While they race toward accumulating the latest trends, you find yourself contemplating the true worth of it all. You begin to ask questions like, is this really worth my time and energy? While others compete to possess more, you reflect on what all of this will ultimately mean in the grave. This realization marks a shift in your perception of reality. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advise us to conduct ourselves in this world as if we're strangers or travelers passing through. This life is not our ultimate destination. We aren't here to establish thriving empires on a foundation of sand. Instead, we are here to invest in something eternal. The Quran underscores this message, explaining that the worldly life is merely play and amusement, while the hereafter is where true life begins, if only people would grasp this truth. However, in this fast-paced world, when you begin to prioritize the hereafter over this worldly life, expect to face some puzzled looks. People might wonder why you refuse to join them in their pursuits, or why you not focus on impressing others. They can't understand your perspective because they still cling to the notion that this life is everything. You see, you're capable of perceiving the expiration date on all worldly pursuits. You comprehend that no amount of wealth, social media followers, or status can afford you an extra moment in life when the clock runs out. And that understanding dawns on you. You don't belong here in the traditional sense. You're simply a traveler passing through. Battling your inner self is the true fight. Many spend their lives embroiled in external conflicts, arguing with others, convincing themselves of their worth, or trying to conquer foes. However, those whom Allah elevates know that their most significant battles are not with others but with themselves. These individuals engage in a perennial struggle against their own desires, their ego, and their temptations. They realize that the hardest enemy to defeat is not found outside, but rather it resides within. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us that the strongest person is not the one who overpowers others, but the one who masters their own self when angry. Let that wisdom sink in for a moment. Real strength is measured not by defeating a rival, but by controlling one's impulses and emotions. Allah reassures us in the Quran that those who fear standing before their Lord and restrain themselves from desires will find paradise as their ultimate home. Let's be clear, this path is never easy. Every day your soul will beckon you to seek comfort, to embrace laziness, to choose what is easy over what is right. Your inner voice will whisper, just relax, it's not that serious. Yet deep down you know it is exceedingly serious. While others succumb to the siren call of their desires, you resist. You prod yourself to wake up for the early prayer, to avoid the forbidden, and to hold your discipline even when no one is watching. The remarkable aspect of these private battles is that no one sees them. There are no applause, no fractured celebrations when you resist temptation, and no one cheers you on as you lower your gaze in moments of vulnerability. But the beauty is this: Allah sees every struggle, and that's what truly matters. The individuals who conquer their inner demons won't just flourish in this world. they will bask in success in the next life as well, seeking fulfillment beyond the ordinary. While many individuals drift through life, surviving the mundane cycles of waking up, scrolling through their phones, chasing money, passing time, sleeping and repeating the process, you feel something entirely different. There's a nagging sensation within you, like an itch you cannot ignore, a whisper nudging at your soul. You realized you weren't simply sent here to exist. You were placed on this earth for a purpose. No amount of entertainment, financial security, or distractions will fill that void inside of you. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, encouraged believers to pursue that which benefits them, to seek assistance from Allah, and to never adopt a helpless mindset. This powerful advice reminds us that true believers do not meander through life. They are driven by purpose and urgency because they understand that time is fleeting. Allah invites us to reflect on this reality by stating that by time, humanity is at a loss, except for those who believe, do righteous deeds, and encourage truth and patience. If you've been feeling restless, sensing that you are destined for something much larger, it's likely because Allah has instilled that feeling in you for a reason. Now, here's the truly daunting aspect of this realization. If you ignore that calling, life will not become easier or more fulfilling. Instead, it will feel increasingly empty. You may chase the fleeting, hoping to fill that void, but only a clear sense of purpose will truly satisfy your soul. If you have felt this gnawing urge within you, do not dismiss it. It is a powerful sign that Allah is guiding you towards something magnificent. The true honor of being chosen lies in choosing Allah. As we approach the conclusion of our discussion, let me share an undeniable truth. No one is born chosen. Allah does not favor individuals based on their wealth, status, or lineage. The essence of elevation in Allah's sight hinges upon sincerity, struggle, and a deep connection to one's faith. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, clarified that Allah does not look at physical appearances or material wealth. Instead, He gazes into our hearts and observes our action. Thus, the real question isn't about whether you are one of the chosen few. Rather, the true inquiry is whether you are actively choosing Allah in your daily life. If you find even a flicker of these qualities within yourself, it isn't mere coincidence. This recognition serves as an encouraging reminder that Allah is steering you toward a path imbued with significance and purpose. So today I invite you to make a simple yet profound da'wah. Oh Allah, guide me to the path of those you love. Strengthen my faith, purify my heart, and never let me stray among those who are lost. If this message resonated deeply with you, please take a moment to comment "I love Allah" in the comments below. Your words have the power to inspire others who may be seeking their own guidance and connection to Allah. And remember, liking and subscribing to spread these reminders costs you nothing, yet has the potential to bring countless individuals closer to Allah. May Allah grant us sincerity, wrap our hearts in His protection against distractions, and lead us toward His mercy and divine light. Ameen.